I'm Brad Heath, and welcome to our Ride Along series. I'm super excited. We decided to go visit some of our customers and just ask questions of, hey, why did you order a trailer from us? How long have you been in horses? And really just to get into the life of horse owners and share that with you guys. So come on, enjoy the ride. We look forward to it. I'm Brad Heath, and welcome to our Ride Along series. Today, myself and my crew, Caleb and David, we are in Chester, South Carolina, and looking forward to hanging out with Mike and Shelley. They've been so kind to allow us to come to their property, and we'll talk about horses, we'll talk about horse trailers, why they purchase, things they like, things they don't like, and we'll just have some fun today. So come on over.
Brad,
Good to see you, Mike.
it is a pleasure. It's been a long time we've been trying to meet you.
What's the height and weight on these guys?
They're both about 15 hands.
Yeah.
You know, probably both around 1,000 pounds.
Sure.
But you can see they go on nice and calm,
Yeah.
and it was easy. Neither one of us were in the jeopardy of getting hurt.
Yeah.
That's the things we like about this.
I've had folks that are like, well, I've been hauling horses for 35 years. I've never had a problem. And I said, well, you've never had a problem until you have a problem, right?
Right.
You just have to be prepared for that stuff, or at least have designs that'll give you the best chance of being safe.
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, the best chance for you and your horse.
Yeah.
Well, and I just like how they are not at all nervous about this trailer.
Right.
Nothing about it scares them.
They're ready.
Yeah, they're ready. They're like, okay, they know, of course now they know the drill by now, they know the trailer.
I'll let you guys introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about you and your property, how long have you lived here, that sort of thing.
Great. Well, I'm Mike Ermintrout. This is my wife, Shelley. We've lived at this property for about 16 years.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my sister's before that. So it's been in the family since sometime in the 80s, late 80s. Originally had an airfield on it. This was a runway that we converted into pasture land.
So we're on the runway.
We are on the runway.
Yeah.
Maybe we won't get any planes through.
Yeah.
No planes, just horses.
Yeah?
It's about, I think we have about 15 acres
Okay.
with about 7 cleared in pasture. We've got 4 horses, and we have a beautiful double D trailer.
We love our trailer. Yes.
And who is this lovely lady?
My name is Shelley Ermintrout,
Okay.
and I have been around horses for 47 years now.
Wow.
So I've got, pretty good amount of experience.
So I'm involved in the fire service. I've been a volunteer firefighter. I had an opportunity to go to a technical large animal rescue class. And it was I think a 3-day class, and it went over everything about rescuing animals, and part of that was horse trailer rescue.
Rescues, yeah.
Right.
And they started showing slides of horses falling through the floor of trailers. Horses, like the trailers falling apart when they get into a wreck. And the instructor kept going, and she's a well-known national instructor. She's like, if you are in an aluminum trailer, she's like, you are taking your horse's life in your hands. And I'm like in the class going,
Who is this lady? I need to get her name and go hug her neck. She knows what she's talking about.
She looked at a lot of the construction of trailers when she went go to horse shows and as the on-call vet for the show. And she's like, I'd see so many pieces of the trailer that I just was like, I can't believe,
Right.
You're carrying, people spend a lot of money on horses, and you spend a lot of money on your equipment. But she said they put them in these trailers that, she's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the thing is going to fall apart the second they have one wreck, which you're never expecting to have one.
Yeah.
But I have had friends who've gotten sideswiped
Of
on
course.
the highway.
We've had them.
I know it's happened to people. I mean, we've been very
We had one in
fortunate.
Florida not too long ago, and
Yeah.
she had a 3-horse reverse load. Horses walked away, trailers on its side, vehicles completely totaled. I mean, it was a mess.
Yeah.
But the trailer held up very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, held
Yeah.
up great.
So this is probably the best, hands down, the best feature of a Double D is the safe tack reverse. So on a normal trailer, depending on the type, you have this tiny space to fit through with the horse. But with this, the tack room is built in to the door. So what's nice about it is that you have this massive space that you can load the horses with.
I like the extra stuff.
We've added some additional storage for grooming supplies and shovels and whatnot. Beauty is this can be done both ways.
If you are forward facing, you would load from the rear. Horse faces that direction.
Yes.
If you're reverse facing, you would load through the side ramp, and horse head would be this direction.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now we've trained our horses that we can bring them in forward and then they turn
And then they
around
spin.
and then just back in.
Well, let's talk horse trailers,
All right.
right?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember how you stumbled on us? What kind of the path, the journey to at least put us together? I don't
Sure.
remember.
Sure. Well, what happened is we had a 3-horse trailer. I won't say the brand.
That's okay. It didn't matter.
Well, we had.
Unless it's a negative. Unless it's something negative you're going to say. Then we won't
Well,
mention
yeah,
the brand.
that's why I'm not going to.
We'll move on then.
Let's
cut.
And we had
Nice.
an incident with one of the horses. We were at a parking lot, and we had them on high ties.
Right?
And the one horse, someone came flying into the parking lot, which always shocks us.
Always
but
that person.
People, there's always one
Yeah,
person out
always
there
that person. Please don't be that person.
Yeah, please drive slow into the parking
Slow
lot
down.
if you see horses out, please. I wouldn't necessarily say panicked, but he spooked a little and he pulled back on the high tie
Sure.
because it startled
And we're not
him.
talking about a Clydesdale either. We're talking about a Bashkir Curly who's
He's only barely 15 hands
Yeah.
high.
Yeah,
and
so 1,000, 1,100 pounds or
yeah,
so.
you know, probably right around 1,000 pounds. Generally extremely calm.
Right.
But this was enough that we came up behind him and it kind of startled
Yeah,
him.
freaked him a
so
little.
he was like, whoa. And he pulled the back end of the trailer off.
peeled it.
Peeled it like a tin can. And
Oh, snap.
yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Like, wow. That
Wow.
just happened?
We're like,
Well,
what just happened? Yeah.
So I thought
So
that
it probably, did they not have the tie bolted all the way through with a plate on the
No.
end?
It did. The problem
It did.
with this particular trailer is rather than
Yeah.
having fully boxed frame, it was
just a
C
C-channel.
channels.
Yes, yeah.
And so it literally pulled that side of the trailer and pulled it through those C channels.
yeah. Right. So it pulled through the C and then ripped the sheet metal off too.
Yes.
And,
Yeah. Yeah. We were
is a
kind
bit
of
of a
standing there
shock.
like,
yeah.
what just happened?
Yeah.
Well, and thanks to the internet, we started researching. And,
Yeah.
when we started looking at things of, you can go down to a typical horse trailer dealer and they'll say, here's the trailer.
Right.
This is what you're going to get. And if you don't like it, you can go kick rocks because this is what we're selling. And we had very specific,
And it's the best.
oh, of
What?
course it's the-
It's the best.
It's the best, yeah.
Why is it the best? I'm not sure. I just know it
I'll
is.
tell you what they would say. They'd say, well, this one has a television and it's 50 inches.
Right.
It was always things that weren't important. It was, well, our interior has this mahogany inlay with the television pops out from underneath on a motor.
It's like, well, that's beautiful,
I
but
really don't care about that.
you know,
Yeah,
but
we-
I mean, it's nice, it's beautiful, but I'm
We,
kind of
we work with
worried
some
about-
folks
yeah.
that are they're too focused on the human aspect
Yeah.
and the what color the cabinets are and this, and I'm like, we can make all that stuff
Yeah.
look like whatever we want it to look like.
Right.
But when we have a client that's really focused on horse safety
Yeah.
and the comfort of the horse, and we make the trailer about the horse, then that's a good customer for us, because there's a lot of companies that build kind of subpar horse area stuff with a really good-looking RV camper in the front.
Right.
So
we've been in those trailers.
And we've been in those trailers,
and we've talked to all of our friends when when we will go to camping, and there's a group of, could be 10 people around the campfire, and they all start sharing stories. And ours are usually horse related, of Shelley falling into the water.
right,
But
right,
a lot of theirs were like, oh gosh, we were at so and so, and the slide out wouldn't go back in.
right.
It fell off the track, so we had to go find and borrow straps and strap the slide on back on. And I'm not necessarily saying that slide on's a horrible thing, but we made a decision that I don't want a slide on. And the trailers we were all looking at, well, you have to have a slide out. And
Yeah.
I don't want to slide out. So when we found your website, and it was the only place where, when we think about like ordering something, like when you build a house, and you could say, this is what I want. This is what I want my house to look like. This is what I want. I want the kitchen here. I want this in the kitchen. You're the only ones that were like, yeah, we can do that. And everything I threw at you said, I want that. I want the light on the fender that I can see in my mirror that tells me that the lights are still working.
Right.
And the answer was always, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I want the extra water tank. I want it underneath, and I want this one. Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I don't want a slide out. Well, you didn't check the box, so you're not going to get a slide out.
Right. Yeah.
It was the only place where you could actually build that trailer by checking boxes. You knew exactly how much it was going to cost. But then if you wanted anything else, you just
could
go,
add it
Brad,
or subtract it.
can you do this?
Right.
And you were like, yeah, I can do it.
Right.
And it was effortless. It was convenient. There were no surprises. There were no shocks at all.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful.